is why having the skill of being able to read the white book is going to significantly make your life a lot easier. So here's my very old 2018 white book, and here are all the tabs in my white book. Let me turn it this way as well. So this is where, when I was studying and reading the white book, what I was doing as I was going along, and this is what it looked like by the end of the course. There are multiple volumes of the white book, and there are also supplements. And essentially, this book has all the civil procedure. I was just showing you my white book if you look at my video, Christina, then you'll see it. I was just showing you here. So the civil procedure rules set out what all of the court procedure is going to be in relation to all of these different things. So general matters, limitation, pre-action conduct, everything here has a rule, and the rules are contained in the white book. It's called the white book because it's white. That's it. In other procedural books, they're green, and so they're called the green book. So there we go. So I asked earlier what we want to look at, and people said summary judgment, default judgment. So let's do that. That should be here. So syllabus topic 10. So step 1, when you are studying. Sarah, I just used the volumes based on where the references were. So volume 1 was where I had most references for the syllabus, and so I used that more, but you still had to use volume 2. I do believe volume 2 has the rules for relief from sanctions or something. I don't know. I might have made that up. But volume 2 I used when I needed to. Okay, I need to take a sip of my tea because my throat hurts a lot. Thank you very much for bearing with me, all of you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so when you look at this syllabus document, the first thing you're going to see is the title of the syllabus topic. Great. Default judgment and summary judgment. I would suggest to you that there are different stages where different texts are going to be helpful. If you are still at the stage where you look at defaults and summary judgment and you're like, what is that? Then my recommendation is take a step back, go back to your lecture slides and recordings if you have them, or your civil litigation textbook. Go to an introductory text if you're not able to immediately recognize and understand what the headline syllabus topic is and what it refers to. If you're not able to do that, then go to the introductory text. Once you are aware, okay, I know what default judgment and summary judgment are, then you're ready to move on to the next stage of your study process. So these 3 headings: default judgments, applications to set aside, and summary judgments. Okay, so now you know all of the main topics in this syllabus area. You are aware of what the main headline topics are going to be, and you know that there are rules for these headline topics. So this is where my spreadsheet that I created can be very helpful, but you can also go through this yourself. This next paragraph here that says examinable material will consist of claims in which default judgment may be obtained, conditions to be satisfied for default judgment, procedures for obtaining default judgment, nature of judgment obtained, default judgment in claims against more than one defendant, evidence on requests and applications for default judgment, setting aside or varying default judgment, grounds for summary judgment, proceedings in which, so you can see here now we started summary judgment, proceedings in which summary judgment is available, procedure for obtaining summary judgment, evidence at a summary judgment hearing, the court's powers on a summary judgment application, and setting aside orders for summary judgment. Basically, follows the same headline topic areas as default judgment. But you can see applications to set aside is very important, because what they're trying to say is that we want you to know how you obtain a default judgment, but we also want you to tell us how you set aside a default judgment or vary it or set aside a summary judgment. So this is when you look at this paragraph of text and it can look a bit intimidating. it's very intimidating when you look at it like this. And that's why it can be really helpful to break this apart and see what are all of the different rules and where do they lie in the syllabus or in the CPR. So you can see here at the bottom, after they've told you the topics they want you to look at, they've highlighted here the CPR they want you to look at, and they also say the level at which they're going to assess. So you can see will be assessed at a level covering the civil procedure rules, relevant practice direction provisions, and the leading case law authorities. Okay, so you know that for these CPR rules, they want you to know what are the rules, what are the relevant practice directions, and what is the case law authorities. And let me break that down a little bit more. So the rules are going to be, when we look at the white book in a minute, the rules are going to be the actual rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4. That's just going to say what the rule is. Okay. The practice direction, as you guys will be familiar from your studies, or if you haven't quite caught onto this element yet, the practice direction is just that. It gives directions for practice. So if there is a requirement, I think it's rule 16 point something, if there's a requirement that you need to file a particulars of claim, the practice direction, PD 16, is going to tell you how to file that particulars of claim and what needs to be in the particulars of claim. If you look at it that way, you can see you need the rule, but you also need the practice direction, which tells you how to apply the rule. And as you all remember, because this is England, we still have the common law. We still have case law that provides precedent, that provides guidance, that tells you what the court is going to do in different scenarios. And that's when we need the leading case law authorities. Now, this is where you and your white book need to become friends. Your white book will have all of these three things. It will have the CPR, it will have the practice direction, and it will have the case law authorities.